Well, it's time for another Apologetics Deconstructed. And this one is a sort of my own take on a Brett Palmer video he just released, link down below. Go sub to him if you haven't already. If you haven't already, why not? I will be doing the Q&A video tonight and probably in about 10 to 12 hours, so if you want to got any last questions, go ask me there. Link below if I remember this time. But this video is about the Earth. And, whether or not the ancient Jews believed the Earth was round. Brett Palmer brings up the big point that, difference between a sphere and a circle. We've all heard this before. The Christians say. Isaiah mentions that the Earth is a circle. See, it's a sphere. It proves that they had knowledge they couldn't possibly have known, ignoring that the ancient Greeks had already figured this out beforehand. And this is just sort of nonsense, But it also most likely meant, flat circle. But let's go for a second and use their arguments. They say that these were metaphorical. That just because they use metaphors that sound flat does not mean that they believed the Earth was flat, which is true. It is possible that they knew the Earth was a sphere. The problem here is the metaphors and descriptions they use is the same ones used by the societies and countries and regions around them. Many of the very same metaphors are used. And I don't think most Christians would argue that they believed the Earth was a sphere. So how do you reconcile this? You have to show that the Jews meant it metaphorical, while everybody else meant it literal, or show something. You can't just assert this. Occam's razor. The simplest explanation is most likely, and right now the simplest explanation is that they meant it the same way everybody else did. And you need to show, give some evidence, something that shows they believed the Earth was round, a sphere. And the problem is, everywhere the Bible talks about it outside of this so-called circle, it uses the same things. The four corners of the earth, the four winds, trees and mountains that can see the entire planet from. Of course, you might say that's a vision, that's a dream. You still have to show that that's what it was. These are, one was a dream, but the other one was shown as an event, an actual happened. Satan takes, Jesus to the top of this mountain to show him all the kingdoms of the world. Because that's what they believed. They believed that the kingdoms they knew of around them was all there was. So show me this. Show me that there is something beyond this. Don't just assert that, they used circle because it didn't have the word for sphere, which is wrong. They had the word for ball, but even if you're right, you still haven't proven that they actually meant round. Because the other cultures around the area believed in a circular earth, a flat earth. So prove your point, prove it. Don't just assert it. Because the bulk of the evidence is against you. You have to do something to prove it. Possibility does not make plausibility. And this is the biggest problem with apologetics, they confuse the two. So comment down below, check out Brett Palmer's video and subscribe to him if you haven't already, and ask me any Q&A if you want.